Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be working on the February makeup basket. This was January's. If you saw that video, I'll link it in the cards if you did not. I got my coffee and we're gonna get started. So what I'm gonna do first is decide whether or not I'm gonna keep some of the items that I brought in. So if an item goes on this side, it means I am keeping it. And if it goes on this side, it means it's going to move out for the next rotation. There's only a true handful of products that I really wanted to quickly talk about before we get into it. The first is the Superstay foundation that I put in last month. I absolutely hate it. And it dries down really matte and clings to all the dry patches, does not look good or spread evenly. And I thought about keeping it to maybe mix it around because I have a really hard time of letting go of products that I don't like because I feel like it's wasteful. But I decided this is too horrible to keep. So it's going. And by going, I mean out of my collection going. And then I do want to also talk about this highlighter. I almost decluttered it at one point. This is the ColourPop highlighter in Starbright. I really, really like this highlighter, even in the stick formula. And I'm actually going to keep it in a whole other month. Everything else, I did wear all of the different lipstick colors. And I did use both of the palettes. This was the gold palette that was new to me, and you can see a little bit of use here. And this palette is just a little bit disappointing. It's not as good as I thought it would be. So I am going to rotate it out. That's it for all the things I want to talk about. Now it's time to sort. Okay, so everything that is left in here is in my project pan. The only thing I'm not sure about is this, if I want to keep it or not, because I really, really did like this. And I do have a couple more powders, but I don't know if I want to bring them in yet. This is just going to hang out around for now. The only things I want to keep are the highlighters. Everything else is going to be on its way out. We're going to start here only because the foundations are in here, at least the ones left that I have. I think I want to try the ColourPop foundation stick. I've had this for literal years and I've never used it. Oh, that color match though. That's really bad. Do I wait till I'm more tan? This one is also too dark. Wait, hold on, let's try it. Okay, not really. That's it there. And that's the ColourPop. I do think the ColourPop needs to white just a little bit longer. So I think I'm going to bring in the MAC foundation. The Quo, I do like this one too. Maybe this one will be for March. And I don't want to bring in any of like my tinted moisturizers, only because I have one that's currently working. And then as for powders, I have two left. This is the mini kind of seal the deal powder from Lawless. And then I also have this Nude by Nature powder. I think this one has a bit of color to it and it's too dark for right now. So I actually think that, yeah, I'm gonna bring this one in. And then I'll take this guy out. This is the next box, and all the concealers are up top. I am going to try the matching concealer for the foundation, although they do look a little different, but we'll try it. I have been thinking also about bringing in a face concealer, just because I do like a 5-minute face, and this one only works in the winter. And I do like to mix it with the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. So I'm actually going to bring in 3 concealers this month. This little blush got stuck in the little tray, or basket, sorry. I really did like this. Okay, I know that there's a lot of blush out there, but what I think I'm gonna do is, I'm really feeling this mauve moment right now. So I'm gonna bring in the MAC Mocha Blush, and then I'm also gonna bring in the Cloud Paint and Haze, as well as the Patrick Ta Blush in Oh She's Different. It's the more purple kind of blush. I think if there's a time for a color like this, it's either going to be like November or December, or like deep winter, and that's what we're at right now. And I really want to try them out. I do know that this particular color is a little bit more patchy than some of the others, and this one is my most worn color, and I really do like this for a 5-minute face. The pink one seems really more spring, so I do want to lean into that. And then for primer, I'm going to roll in the Milk Makeup Primer, the Hydro Grip, because I have not tried it. And I am super close in finishing my current primer. So if I don't get enough wear out of this, I'm fine rolling that in for another month. But I do want to at least have the option for using one, or for using it, sorry. Okay, so I'm just moving those products to the side, but I'm kind of keeping them open just to kind of get a feel for the vibe that I've already created. Is it? Okay. Is it a little much if I go for one of my Glossier lips? I have Jam, and I have Like. That's Like, and that's Jam on top. Okay, listen, folks. I used all the lip products I brought in last month. I used the gloss, I used rhubarb. I thought rhubarb was poppin'. I'm gonna put them both in because if I'm feeling something, I just need to lean into that. And you know what? I think the top is the Chubby Stick. This one. It's the Clinique Fuller Fake. I got it from my mom maybe in November because she wasn't feeling it. So I'm leaning in hard to that mauve, and guess what? Fine by me. I do have other things to use in like my regular Project Pan items that are a little bit more neutral should I feel like it. I have like the Hug Me lipstick. I have different glosses. That will be fine. So let's take a look at some of the single eyeshadows. I'm thinking of the Charlotte Tilbury shadow. It's right here in Oyster Pearl. I kind of feel like that might go nice, but is that too monochrome? Or do I want something gold? But I could just pick a palette that has some gold in it. The other option is to pick just like this ColourPop. To me, it's like more like a toppery kind of shade because it's really glittery gold. Everything else here is actually pretty cool tone, maybe except for this one. This is the color here. I know I'm running out of swatch space. I just had this shadow in, I think. Okay, I'm just gonna keep these two out. I'm feeling so indecisive because this one is really nice. Okay, all three of those are gonna just stay out for now. I'm only gonna pick one. I promise. All right, I'm feeling a little bit torn on what to do for the lip gloss, or even if I need to roll one in, because I don't think that either of those is really appropriate for this month. I think to me they're really summer. Let's swatch this one. That guy is really cool tone, and I already have a cool tone gloss that's in the project. I also am thinking maybe putting this one into a project soon And this one I feel a similar way. It's like a cool tone brown, which I already have. So then there's this guy. And then there are these two. And I'm already thinking of panning them. So do I put them in and start panning them? Or no, I'm going to wait for their time because they're going to come this year. And I think this could just be the place to try out a little bit of the Fenty Glow Shade. I got this for Christmas. And you know what? I love this formula so much that if I were to have like a Fenty face moment where I use the other Fenty products that I have a highlighter and a blush, I would be totally happy to put that in with it. So the last thing to do are to pick the palette, and I'm not gonna be putting in either of the palettes that I had in last month. And also, I guess it's a process of elimination. The Frozen palette, it's a winter palette for me. And then this one, Sweet Talk, is a spring palette for me. And I wear it most often in the spring. So I just like to save it for that. As for what's left, here's the truth of it, guys. I have at one point loved pinky shadows on me. My favorite. And that's exactly where the Huda Beauty palette came in, and this one a few years ago. And I learned this from the Modern Renaissance palette because my favorite look from that palette was using those pinky mauvey colors. I loved it so much. When I wore this palette this month, I didn't really want to reach for it because I feel like I'm moving away from the pinks. This palette feels different even though there's pinks, is because there's like peaches and corals, and it is not in that pinky mauve kind of color. They're very different. This one also feels different because this is more like cool tone purple. So I think this is an option for this month. So I'm just gonna keep that over there. And it's just really making me wonder about this palette. You know what? I think I'm gonna put it in this month, not the Flutterby. I think that this is a good test. If I've moved on from this color story, this is the place to figure that out. I also have some special moments this month that I would want to wear a nicer palette, even though like I'm not going anywhere. You can still dress up and do these things for yourself inside. So, but do I want to put another palette? I feel like I should. I really do like this palette, but I think that there's just like a couple of crossover shades, this kind of corner that's very similar to what's in that palette. And when I pull it in, I want it to be unique, like the only one of that kind of color. Both of these guys are like the neutral of the neutral, like maybe, well, not neutral of the neutral, I guess more like, what I mean is they are the basic palettes, which I like. That's not even a knock at it. At the same time, I really love the shimmers in the Dominique Cosmetics palette, and I really like that top row with those like warm mattes. I think I'm gonna put in this guy. I haven't used it in a while, or really since I bought it. So I think those are going to be the palettes for this month. I know that this palette in particular is really playing into that mauve theme, and I don't really want everything to be like totally tonal. I think I would want to save this color for a different week. And this one has glitters already, so I think that the color that would provide me with the most versatility would be this one. This is the color I can wear on like no makeup days, low maintenance, less pigment. Not unpigmented, but there's a purpose there. So now it's time to put everything back in the basket. It's definitely a little more full than normal because of the palettes, but it all still fits essentially. So that's gonna wrap up the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.